The Jim and Terry Show, coming to you from the Hobbit Studio in bright sunny downtown, slightly humid, and Michael and I are sweating in the Hobbit Hole. At least I am. We might want to crack the door and let some ventilation in from the outside if you can. This is the spiritual podcast. That means we're going to cover some things of a spiritual nature. And Michael represents someone from my spiritual pathway of years ago. And we're going to touch base with our common link point and then talk about where our spiritual journey has taken us in the intervening years. That is the bane of Jim's existence.
Yes.
There's a mic screen that just keeps...
Yes.
Anyway, here's Michael. He was to talk about diverging spiritual pathways. Where are you at now? How would you describe yourself and your spiritual journey at this point?
Well, that is a good question. I'm not sure where I hang my hat, to use that expression.
Okay, if there was a rack, are you still a Christian?
I am. At the core of my belief system, I'm a Christ follower.
Okay. Number two, are you an Anglican variety of Christian?
I would say more. Yes, I'm more. Regards to
Tradition.
Fellowship would be more liturgical as opposed to evangelical.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're more comfortable with a set of prayers and a set of hymns?
More because it's more engaging in the sense where you participate as opposed to, you're an audience to like one person on a stage, which is a typical evangelical setting. Where you'll have a worship band and then a preacher.
You're speaking of more of an evangelical when you have a worship band.
Yeah,
a lot of small girl churches don't have a worship band.
Yeah, exactly. And then, just one person up there, and you really don't have, any meat on the bone with regards to, the word, if you will, And so the liturgical to me is more is participation. People participate in responsive reading, responsive psalms. You get more a holistic approach to a fellowship. So I do subscribe to that for myself, but I'm not a denominationalist. I don't follow a denomination. I am a universal view.
Ooh, universalist. So you are a small C Catholic.
In the sense where you say use the word Catholic, which is universal.
Yes, as opposed to capital C, which is the Roman Catholic.
Exactly. I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to universal, Christ. So more inclusive. My view is far more inclusive. Where I see myself and my spiritual view is that we are all connected. We're all one. We're all valued. Right, and we're all, and there's no bias in regards to, the divine for anybody. So for me, I truly believe that Christ is for everyone, Christ in everything, Christ in everyone, and that it's coming alive and awake to the Christ that is in you. And I boil my spirituality down to loving your neighbor as you love yourself. That's where I hang my hat. I don't get involved in, I think true Christianity has been hijacked, especially in America, and parts of Canada as well, and North America. So our view, the evangelical view, it's not healthy. It's not a healthy spirituality. It's politicized. It's divisive.
Okay, let me break down your spiritual journey into a couple of things. You've worshipped in or attended a variety of forms of worship experience, from rural to urban.
Yeah,
Is there
exactly.
a difference between those two, the city Christian or devotee and the rural?
I believe there is. I think, just my own observation. Of course, you have small communities. Which a beautiful thing. Like in a small community, you got you have this maybe a couple little churches within that small community of whatever, like rural, and people are there's a sense of community, and that's a wonderful thing. The beautiful thing about spirituality is that people come together to worship. They come together to have a conversation, and it also that facilitates loving your neighbor, helping your neighbor because you have conversation, you get to know each other. So, like the whole concept is God's idea, it's not ours, so if you will. So, but what we've done is we have, we have forced ourselves upon people's freedom to say, you need to do this. You need to individualize and personalize and make a decision in your life, whereas it's more us. It's more communal. Like the true essence of our spiritual journey is more that it needs to be more communal, more community, more connectedness, we're and inclusive. So, back in the day, I would say, like, growing up, us being zealots and coming out of our Anglican traditions, we would look at the United Church as places like, whoa, they've really gone over to the other,
Gone to the dark side.
Dark side of, they're more like socialism and everything else. But maybe they were right in more ways than.
Yeah, rather than saying socialism, maybe they were more, I'm going to use this one, humanism as
Humanism,
opposed to
yeah, if you will. More caring for humanity.
theistic humanism.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if that fits. But
I don't
yes.
know either, and I don't know, and I can't speak to the United Church and what they believe.
Do we
and what
need
they-
labels to define our spiritual journey?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, so if you're using the word universal, you're talking about things that are mystical and you
Yeah.
apprehend in a variety of ways, not necessarily
Yeah.
in the building, not necessarily in the liturgy
Of
or the
course.
hymnal or the prayer book, the Book of Common Prayer. You're
Yeah.
finding access to the divine creative creator
Yeah.
through other ways. So have you explored much in any of the alternative ways other than going to your local church, listening to your local
Oh yeah,
preacher?
yeah. I mean, I follow a Franciscan, Richard Rohr. I follow him at CAC, Center for Action and Contemplation. I do like I like their approach. Very much more a whole world view of spirituality, where you listen to other points of view. You
And
take
yet
the
Rohr,
good. You take,
Rohr is a Franciscan. That's Roman Catholic in the
yeah,
tradition.
but he is, but he's more. But he doesn't subscribe so much to. Obviously he is. He is a Catholic.
So to be a Catholic and a practicing Catholic, you have to,
You have to be-
maintain certain affiliations and beliefs.
You
You
do.
have to check the
Yeah,
boxes.
yeah.
Otherwise, you will be excommunicated or
Yeah.
persona non
So
grata.
I think he works within that. He still works within that, within that genre, and I don't think the Roman Catholic Church agrees with everything that he says. That's for sure.
So
So
he's
he's only
walking a
one
line.
person. So I don't
Yeah.
follow him so much as a person. It's more the idea, the ideology. I love the whole concept of community, and he brings in other voices like Indigenous and First Nations. I really have a deep respect and affinity to our First Nations and their spirituality. Melissa, my youngest daughter, bought me a couple of books for poetry, practices, for First Nation. I forget his name now. He passed away a little while back. Very deep spiritual thinker, very contemplative, and so I starts with a W. Can't get his name.
It's okay.
But anyway, so I do like First Nations and Indigenous spirituality, stuff that they, the things that they say, connecting us to nature and to the Great Spirit.
Yeah,
These
so would you
things are
say that's
there.
what Indigenous spirituality is offering you at this point? A value added is connection to the,
we take
nature.
we take the
and-
good and the true that is in that, and you bring that together, right? Whether it's
Okay, this
Buddhism
isn't-
or whether it's other religions, there's some good.
Let me
there's a
parse
common
what-
core. There's a common
Okay.
core in all of them.
Okay,
Right?
let me look at one thing that you just said, and that is the word true.
Yeah.
Whatever is, I think you said, whatever is good and true.
Yeah.
How do you determine truth in your spiritual journey? Because the whole goal is to go towards truth. Truth being whatever light
Yeah.
you believe or
Yeah.
the divine spark.
Yeah.
So you want to go there. Your compass, your internal spiritual compass, if there
Yeah.
is such a thing,
Yeah.
is guiding you to that. So
Yeah.
would you say there's some way of assessing what is true in spiritual terms?
Well, I mean, it really comes down to faith to believe a certain thing. Everyone has to have faith to believe in a certain thing. And
Okay, faith
So-
doesn't tell you truth. It's how you make that leap to whatever you believe is true. But what is true? How do you tell what's true?
What
Are
is
you still
truth?
grounded in Scripture, or, for
I'm
instance,
ground-
is that
I'm
your
s-
first layer of
I'm-
assessing truth?
Yeah, I'm grounded in the Gospels of Christ. What Jesus had to say is universal. What Jesus had to say,
Right.
Jesus didn't come along and make moral absolutes, and he didn't come along and make judgments on humanity.
Well, he did. Some of his things are pretty absolute.
Very absolute. So yeah,
So he
Jesus
did
said,
make some
"I am okay."
pronouncements,
If you
and he
want-
did make some pronouncements in opposition to current religious practices and thought.
What Christ didn't do was say, "This is on people themselves and their make judgments about your sexuality, what is in that regards." What I'm saying, Jesus said that I am the truth. So when Jesus says I am the truth, Christ says I am the truth, speaks the truth. He says, I do not lie. I tell you the truth. So what Jesus says to me is universal. It's boil it down to love your neighbor as you love yourself. That is truth. If we do that, I think we are walking in the truth. So if I can define truth in a way that's loving your neighbor as you love yourself, to me would be a truism.
I'm gonna look at that, and we're running out of time, but run with that for a bit and say perhaps we could agree that truth is apprehended through community. Community is what lifts more people
Yes,
up than tears
yeah.
more people down.
Exactly.
Those kinds of qualities, is that sort of where your journey's taking you?
Yeah, I think it's,
To look
it's
at a bigger
connecting
picture.
connecting to the community, being a part of the community. Where you see opportunity to volunteer, to share, like to give back, right? And those kind of things, helping people, and just small acts of love and kindness, and seeing value in everyone you see. Whether it's that person on the street with a cup holding out, or whether it's someone that you despise their elitism, but can I see value in that person as well?
Let's leave it with love as the great unifier.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Jim and Terry Show with Michael in the guest hot seat. Bye-bye for now.